Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling, this whole thing about how artificial intelligence is changing human behavior, and not just like, you know, the world around us, but like us on the inside. So you've given us a stack of excerpts from Tomas Chamorro-Premuzic's "I, Human,"
Yeah,
and it's quite a thought-provoking read.
it is. Yeah.
So let's try to cut through the AI hype.
Right.
And get into some of the surprising ways it's shaping, how we think and feel and act.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating and very complex issue. And I think a lot of people, they approach AI as, kind of this either proposition. Like
Yeah.
it's good or bad, utopian or dystopian.
Yeah.
But Chamorro-Premuzic's take is much more nuanced than
Yeah,
this.
right off the bat, he dives into this paradox of AI, right?
Yeah.
Where it has this huge potential to revolutionize things for the better,
Right.
like personalized medicine or fairer hiring systems.
Yes. But also at the same time, there's this risk that it's actually amplifying some of our not so great human tendencies.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that Chamorro-Premuzic really emphasizes the AI itself isn't inherently good or evil.
Right.
It's a tool,
Right.
just like any other powerful technology, I guess, throughout history.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to, how we as humans choose to use it.
Right.
And what are the unforeseen consequences that can emerge.
Yeah. It's a little bit like giving a toddler a hammer, right?
Yeah.
It has the potential to build amazing things, but you also better watch out for smash thumbs. One of the first things that Chamorro-Premuzic tackles is this issue of distraction. Which I think we can all relate to, right? In this always connected world.
Absolutely.
He actually goes as far as to call it a crisis of distractibility.
Right.
Driven by, our AI-powered smartphones and social media. Yeah, and he backs that up with some pretty eye-opening statistics.
Yeah, well.
He says the average worker, they check their phone for non-work stuff twice a minute. And each interruption can cost up to 23 minutes of recovery time.
It's incredible. I mean, imagine what we could accomplish if we could reclaim all those lost minutes, right?
It's true.
Think about your own workday. How many times, have you gotten sidetracked by, a notification or just the urge to quickly check social media?
It's constant.
Yeah, it's almost like we've become, addicted to these little dopamine hits
right.
that our devices deliver.
Yeah, and it really makes you question those early promises of the digital age, the ones about boosting productivity and efficiency and all of that.
Yeah.
Perhaps instead of, becoming more efficient, we've simply traded one form of busyness for another.
Right.
But this new form really fragments our attention, and I think it keeps us from achieving our full potential.
And it's not just about productivity either, right? So it's about, our ability to focus.
Right.
To think deeply.
Yeah.
To be present in the moment.
Yeah.
I think these constant distractions are essentially, rewiring our brains.
They are, yeah.
To crave, novelty and instant gratification. And that has implications for everything, right?
Everything.
I mean, from our relationships to our mental health.
Absolutely. Chamorro-Premuzic, he also delves into the issue of bias in AI, and this is where things get really interesting, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because you might assume, that AI, being a machine, would be inherently objective and unbiased.
Right.
But, that's not the case at all.
Right.
No. He actually argues that AI can help us reduce bias.
Okay.
But only if we acknowledge where that bias is really coming from ourselves. Because AI systems are trained on data, right?
Right.
And that data often reflects existing biases in society.
Right.
So take, for example, AI recruiting tools that end up recommending, mostly male candidates.
Right.
Well, it's not that the AI is intentionally sexist. It's that it's been trained on data that reflects, the historical inequalities in the workforce.
So it's like, even if you remove the AI, you're not actually solving the underlying problem.
Right.
You're just sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah.
We need to be, more aware of our own biases and how they're being amplified by these systems.
Right.
We can't just blindly trust AI to be, fair and objective.
And it's not just about fairness either. It's also about, accuracy and effectiveness.
Okay.
Because if AI systems are trained on biased data, they're going to produce biased results, which can lead to all sorts of problems. I mean, you could have inaccurate medical diagnoses or discriminatory hiring practices and so on.
Chamorro-Premuzic doesn't shy away from tackling some of the more, sensitive ways that AI might be impacting us.
Right.
He argues that social media, powered by AI, has cultivated an age of self-obsession,
Right.
giving us all these endless opportunities to self-promote and seek validation.
Yeah, it creates this constant feedback loop of chasing, likes and followers.
Yeah.
And our self-worth becomes increasingly tied to these external measures.
It's true. He even cites research linking higher levels of narcissism with greater satisfaction with one's personal accomplishments.
Wow.
It really makes you wonder, are we actually achieving more, or are we just better at convincing ourselves and others that we are?
That's a great question.
Is this constant striving for online validation actually making us happier in the long run?
Right. And I think it's important to distinguish between, healthy self-esteem,
Yeah.
which is based on, a realistic assessment of our strengths and accomplishments,
Right.
and the kind of inflated ego that social media often encourages.
Right.
Because that latter type, that can be really damaging. It can lead to, anxiety and depression and a distorted sense of reality.
It's not that all self-esteem is bad, but when it becomes detached from genuine achievement and solely reliant on external validation, that's where the danger lies.
Right, right.
And social media makes it like incredibly easy to fall into that trap.
Absolutely. I mean, think about your own online behavior, right? How much of it is driven by that desire for validation from others?
Yeah.
Are you posting things to impress other people, or are you posting to genuinely connect with them and share your experiences?
Right.
I think it's a question worth reflecting on.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So this next idea from Chamorro-Premuzic is a little bit of a mind bender.
Okay.
He claims that AI is making us more predictable
Okay.
and maybe even, dare I say, boring.
Boring.
Interesting. Yeah, no. But what's fascinating is that, by feeding AI all this data about ourselves, we're essentially allowing it to narrow our choices,
Right.
predict our preferences,
Right.
and essentially streamline our lives into this predictable pattern.
Right. And it's like we're becoming, slaves to the algorithm. Like I order takeout through an app,
Yep.
and it already knows what I want before I even open the menu.
Right.
It's convenient, but also a little unsettling, I think.
It is unsettling. It is. There's this real tension here, right?
Yeah.
Between, the convenience and the personalization that AI offers.
Yeah.
And this potential loss of spontaneity and serendipity. Are we truly making our own choices anymore?
Right.
Or are we just following the algorithmic nudges?
It's almost like, the Matrix, where we're all, plugged into this system.
Right.
And it's dictating our reality. But Chamorro-Premuzic, he doesn't just leave us, in this kind of deterministic despair. He actually encourages us to push back against this predictability, to deliberately do things that surprise the AI.
Okay.
To reclaim our capacity for spontaneous, unexpected actions.
Yeah, I love that idea, to actively resist being, boxed in by the algorithm.
Right. Yeah.
To shake things up a little bit.
To embrace a little chaos.
Yeah.
And just remind ourselves that we're not just data points
Right.
to be analyzed and predicted. There's still room for free will and agency
Right.
in this increasingly algorithm-driven world.
And perhaps the most hopeful argument in the book is that, our human curiosity is our best defense against the dehumanizing forces of AI. Here's a detail that really struck me.
Yeah.
AI is all about prediction.
Right.
But humans are driven by this deep desire to understand
Yeah.
the world around us, to ask, why, even when we can't predict what.
Right. And it's a fundamental difference in how we approach the world.
Yeah.
AI can give us answers based on, patterns and probabilities.
Right.
But only we can truly grasp their meaning, their significance.
We need to nurture that curiosity, right?
Yes.
Even if it means, venturing beyond the comfortable recommendations of our algorithms. We need to explore, to question, to engage with the world in a way that goes beyond the data.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really empowering message.
Yeah.
It's, that we're not powerless
Right.
in the face of AI. We have the capacity to shape, how it develops, how we use it, and ultimately what it means for humanity.
I love that. You know, it's interesting how we often talk about, AI influencing our choices as consumers,
Right.
like what we buy or what we watch.
Yeah.
But what about the choices that we're making in our personal lives?
Right.
I mean, are those becoming more predictable too? I mean, think about dating.
Hmm.
You know, remember those old school days of meeting people organically.
Right.
You know, having to like strike up a conversation and navigate those awkward first encounters.
Yeah, there was a certain art to it, right? A
Yeah.
level of like spontaneity and surprise
Yeah.
that maybe we're losing a bit in this age of dating apps.
Right.
And Chamorro-Premuzic, he actually devotes quite a bit of I human to this idea.
Yeah.
He argues that apps like Tinder and Bumble, while convenient, have essentially streamlined the dating process.
Right.
But perhaps at the expense of genuine connection.
Yeah, it's like we've traded those, butterflies in your stomach
Right.
for algorithms and swipe left, swipe right.
Exactly. And it's not just about romance either.
Right.
Think about, finding a job.
Right.
I mean, it used to be all about networking.
Yeah.
Pounding the pavement,
Yeah.
sending out resumes,
Yeah.
maybe even going to those dreaded career fairs.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's all about algorithms too.
Right.
Yeah.
Sites like Indeed and LinkedIn use AI to match candidates with jobs, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But how much control do we really have in that process?
That's the key question, because these algorithms, they're often looking at more than just your skills and experience.
Yeah.
They're analyzing your online activity, your social media presence, even like your personality traits as assessed by AI.
So our digital footprint is becoming our resume,
It is.
whether we like it or not. I mean, it's both impressive and a bit unnerving.
Right.
It makes you wonder, are we being judged fairly? Or are these algorithms, perpetuating existing biases and inequalities?
Yeah, and Chamorro-Premuzic, he really digs into this idea of surveillance capitalism,
Yeah.
where our data isn't just being collected, it's being used to predict and influence our behavior,
Right.
often without our explicit consent.
Mm-hmm.
We become the product with our data as the currency of the digital age.
Okay, so how do we reclaim our agency, right? In this world where algorithms seem to be calling the shots. I mean, it can feel a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, it definitely can. But Chamorro-Premuzic, he offers some practical advice, I think.
Okay.
First, become more mindful of your digital habits.
Okay.
Like, put down the phone once in a while. Take breaks from social media. Disconnect from the internet. Spend time in nature. Do things that don't involve screens. It's about reclaiming your attention and your focus.
Like a digital detox for the soul.
Exactly, yeah. And then second, be more intentional about, the information that you consume.
Yeah.
Don't just blindly follow the algorithm. Seek out diverse perspectives.
Wow.
Challenge your own biases. Be critical of the information you're being fed.
So be curious, but also be skeptical.
Precisely, yeah.
Right.
And then finally, be more proactive in, shaping your own digital identity. Like, choose what information you share online. Curate your social media profiles. Be mindful of the image you're projecting.
Right.
Take control of your digital narrative.
Don't let the algorithm write your story.
Exactly.
Become the author, the editor of your own digital life.
Yeah, and what I really appreciate about Chamorro-Premuzic's approach is that he's not just, warning us about the dangers of AI.
Right.
He's also offering us like a roadmap.
Yeah.
For how we can, use it to our advantage to enhance our lives rather than diminish them.
He dives into something else that's both fascinating and a little bit unsettling.
Okay.
The idea that AI might actually be making us less intelligent.
Less intelligent.
Yeah, I mean, how is that even possible?
Right.
It's not like our brains are shrinking.
No, it's more about how we're using them.
Okay.
Or rather not using them. Chamorro-Premuzic, he argues that we're essentially outsourcing, many of the mental tasks that we used to do ourselves. Think about navigation.
Yeah.
We used to rely on maps, our sense of direction,
Right.
even like asking for directions, right? But now we just, plug an address into our phones and and let the GPS do the thinking.
I haven't looked at a paper map in years,
I know, right?
or remembered a phone number, or done mental math without reaching for a calculator.
Exactly. We're becoming increasingly reliant on technology to do things that we used to do ourselves.
Mhm.
And while this certainly has, its benefits, in terms of convenience and efficiency,
Right.
it also has some potential downsides.
It's like our brains are getting flabby from lack of exercise.
That's a great analogy, yeah. We're not challenging our minds as much as we used to. And
Right.
and as a result our cognitive muscles may be, atrophying.
So what can we do about it? I mean, is it all doom and gloom, or is there a way to use AI to enhance our intelligence rather than replace it?
I think Chamorro-Premuzic, he really believes that AI has the potential to be an incredible tool
Yeah.
for learning and cognitive enhancement,
Okay.
but it all depends on how we use it.
Okay, give us the secret sauce.
Right.
How do we use AI wisely?
Well, first, we need to be aware of the potential pitfalls.
Okay.
Be mindful of how much you're relying on technology and make sure you're still engaging in activities that require critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity.
So no more mindless scrolling.
Mindless scrolling in moderation, right?
Right.
But seriously, it's about finding a balance.
Yeah.
We can use AI to streamline certain tasks and make our lives easier,
Right.
but we also need to make sure we're still actively engaging our minds.
Use AI as a tool,
Right.
not a
Yep.
crutch.
Exactly. Yeah. And Chamorro-Premuzic, he also suggests, using AI to personalize our learning experiences.
Okay.
Think, AI-powered apps that adapt to our learning styles, or AI algorithms that recommend content that challenges our perspectives.
So use AI to expand our horizons,
Right.
not narrow them.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where the real potential of AI lies, I think.
Mhm.
It can help us become more well-rounded, more informed, more intelligent individuals.
So AI can be like a gym for the brain.
I like that. Yeah.
Right.
But remember, AI is just the equipment. We
Mhm.
still have to put in the effort to work out those mental muscles.
Before we move on, I want to touch on one more point that Chamorro-Premuzic brings up.
Okay.
And that's how AI is changing our relationship with knowledge.
Okay.
It used to be that knowledge was something, relatively scarce and difficult to access.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to go to libraries, read books, attend lectures.
Right.
But now, with the internet and AI, we have access to an almost infinite amount of information at our fingertips.
Yeah, it's a pretty profound shift.
Right.
I mean, knowledge is literally a Google search away.
But has this actually made us smarter?
That's the question, isn't it? On the one hand, it's amazing to have so much information readily available.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's also created some challenges.
Okay.
Like this abundance of information has made us, more impatient. We expect answers immediately. We're less willing to put in the effort to really delve into a topic. And it's also led to like a decline in critical thinking, I think, because we're bombarded with so much information, from so many sources that it's hard to know what to believe.
It's the age of misinformation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where AI can be a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
It can help us, filter through the noise and find reliable information. But it can also be used to create and spread misinformation more effectively.
So it's like a race, right?
Yeah.
Between AI for good and AI for evil.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
And it's a race that we all have a stake in.
So what do we do?
Well, we become savvy consumers of information.
Okay.
And critical thinkers.
Yeah.
We question our assumptions. We evaluate evidence. We're willing to change our minds when presented with new information.
Right.
We use those uniquely human faculties to navigate this complex information landscape.
So be curious, be skeptical, be open-minded.
Exactly, yeah. And that, I think, is the key to thriving in this age of AI.
Mm.
Before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
If AI is changing our relationship with knowledge so profoundly, what does that mean for the future of education?
That's a great question, and one we'll have to explore further in our next segment. Welcome back to the deep dive. We We ended that last segment on quite a cliffhanger. You know,
Yeah.
contemplating AI's impact on education
Hmm.
and what that means for the future of learning itself.
Yeah, it's a question that goes to the heart of, what we value as a society.
Right.
What does it even mean to be educated in a world where AI can outperform us in so many
It
areas?
feels like our whole concept of education, which for so long has revolved around, acquiring this fixed body of knowledge, memorizing facts, mastering skills,
Right.
is being challenged in a very fundamental way.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, in the past, education was all about becoming an expert
Right.
in a particular field.
Right.
But in a world where information is constantly changing and evolving, where AI can automate so many tasks, that old model just doesn't cut it anymore.
It doesn't. No.
So what does the future of education look like
Right.
in this brave new world?
Well, Chamorro-Premuzic, he argues that it needs to be less about, rote learning
Right.
and more about developing those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate.
So you're talking about things like critical thinking,
Yeah.
creativity,
Yeah.
problem solving, the ability to adapt and learn new things quickly.
Precisely. Yeah.
Those are the skills that will make us not just, employable,
Right.
but adaptable and resilient and fulfilled
Yeah.
in a world where the rules of the game are constantly changing.
Yeah, it's less about, what we know and
Right.
more about how we think, how we approach problems, how we interact with the world around us.
And this has some pretty big implications
Yeah.
for how we teach and learn.
It does.
I mean, we need to move away from traditional classroom lectures and standardized tests
Right.
and create more engaging interactive learning experiences
Yeah.
that foster, curiosity
Right.
and collaboration and critical thinking.
Think more hands-on projects, group discussions, real-world problem solving.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and technology can actually play a role here.
Okay.
AI can be used to personalize learning experiences, provide feedback, and even create simulations that allow students to experiment and learn in a safe environment.
So AI becomes a tool for learning,
Right.
a teaching assistant,
Yeah,
not a replacement for teachers.
exactly. Right.
And Chamorro-Premuzic also emphasizes the importance of developing, social and emotional skills.
Right.
What's often called emotional intelligence or EQ.
The other IQ.
Right, exactly.
In a world where we're interacting more and more with machines, it's more important than ever to be able to communicate effectively,
Yeah.
build relationships, understand and manage our own emotions and empathize with others.
So the future of education is holistic.
It is.
It's about developing the whole person,
Right.
not just the intellect.
Yeah.
It's about nurturing those essential human qualities that will allow us to thrive alongside AI, not be replaced by it.
Well said. And it's not just about formal education either.
Right.
It's about cultivating a lifelong love of learning, about staying curious, asking questions, exploring new ideas, being open to new experiences.
It's about staying engaged with the world, even as it's changing, at warp speed,
Right.
and embracing the unknown with a sense of wonder and excitement.
Beautifully put.
We talked earlier about the concern that AI might be, making us less intelligent.
Right.
But Chamorro-Premuzic also offers a more optimistic perspective. He argues that AI can actually help us become more intelligent if we use it wisely.
Right.
I'm all ears. Tell me more.
He talks about how AI can, augment our cognitive abilities, help us process information more efficiently, even expand our creativity by suggesting, novel combinations of ideas.
So it's not about AI replacing human intelligence. It's about AI enhancing it,
Right.
working in tandem with our own, cognitive strengths.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of, coevolution comes in. He believes that humans and AI can evolve together,
Okay.
each learning from the other and becoming more intelligent as a result.
It's a symbiotic relationship, a partnership
Right.
where the sum is greater than the parts.
Right. And I think that's a much more hopeful and empowering way to think about AI.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a threat to
Right.
humanity. It can be a collaborator, a tool for progress, even, dare I say, a companion on this journey of understanding ourselves and the world around us.
So what does this all mean for us?
I think Chamorro-Premuzic's I Human is a call to action.
Mm.
It's a reminder that we're not passive observers in this AI revolution. We're active participants. We have a choice.
We do.
We can let AI define us, control us, even diminish us.
Or we can use it as a tool for self-discovery,
Right.
for growth,
Yeah.
for expanding our horizons and becoming more intelligent, more compassionate, more fully human.
And that's the challenge and the opportunity, I think, before us.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive.
It was.
So much to ponder.
Yeah.
I hope you'll join us next time as we explore other fascinating topic.
I hope so too.
And in the meantime, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep asking those big questions.
Until next time.